What's going on, guys? This is Sports Media. My name is Thomas Hampton.
I'm Trey Foshee, and we've got a nice episode for you.
We're at episode number 14. Should be a shorter one for the most part. We always say that, and then the episodes are actually longer than all the...
Yeah, this will be the first one to break an hour.
Yeah, that'd be wild. So, given the only thing that's happened recently was Texas State's, which Silver Series, fine.
We'll talk about it. We'll give some updates there.
But as we're speaking, Texas State's was a week ago. We took an off week, and there was nothing going on this weekend. So this is definitely new territory for us. Usually we're actually covering something as of the recent. I mean, we had the off season, but I feel like there was a lot more going on.
Yeah, you've got off-season acquisitions. You've got teams changing up their lineups, their players, and that's not really happening mid-season. We're still holding out that Gannon-Burr is going to wind up changing companies, but I don't think it's going to happen this season.
It is. There's a lot in the air out there. So I think the things that we're going to cover are, we'll give a short little recap on Texas State.
Right.
We're going to talk about Music City, fun little announcement in there. We're going to give our typical Forge picks for the week. We're going to talk about a fun little Paul Macbeth news story.
Yes.
New discs, Foshee's Fun and Games, and round it off with the Thomas's Top 5. So, Trey, want to kick us off with some Texas State's recap action?
Yeah, absolutely. So Texas State's the first silver event of the year went down. Like Thomas said, not this past weekend, but the weekend before. Calvin Hunberg, no surprise, taking it down, winning by 6 strokes over Anthony Barella and Joel Freeman. James Proctor and Alden Harris make up the rest of the top 5 there. And then a surprise in the FPO side with Sai Ananda taking it down.
Absolutely nuts.
Yeah, beating Kristen Tatar by 3 strokes and Owen Scoggins by 4. I mean, it was a strong FPO field. And, I mean, you see Kristen, Owen, Katrina Allen, Missy Gannon, all in this field. And you have to figure that one of those 4 is going to take it down. But Sai Ananda could not miss a putt.
Oh, no. She was hitting everything. I mean, Circle 2 putts were nuts.
Yeah, she was the best. She was the best disc golfer out there on the FPO side this weekend.
She was also the most lighthearted, fun person to watch.
Yeah, she was having a great time playing disc golf.
If you want to go to the Disc Golf Pro Tour Instagram, they were posting some recap reels about her doing like stupid little like thumb magic tricks out there. Oh no, what is it, like this or something
like that? Yeah.
That's my really poor attempt at it. She was doing the little like 1 becomes 2, it comes back to 1, like all that, just having a blast out there.
Oh yeah.
Maybe is that like a way to calm the nerves down in the midst of what is probably the highest pressure situation she's been in?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, I think that's her way. You could tell in the interview after the tournament with Perkins, she was extremely nervous, and she would admit that she was like fighting nerves. She had a couple of holes where there were struggles, but she had to continue just fighting back. And like I said, the putting green won her that tournament.
Yes.
100%. Kristen Tatar, Owen Scoggins. Did you see the Owen Scoggins ace?
I did see the Owen Scoggins ace. That was pretty awesome.
Her and Kat Mersch got so high.
Yeah. I love the idea of acing and the entire field getting excited.
Yeah, your entire card being just excited that you got it done. And it was one of these situations where she threw a great shot. If it hadn't gone in, it would have been within 10.
This is the best. Right?
Yeah, it was a skip ace.
Yeah.
Which I think is the best ace.
Then just definitely, it's the most well-placed shot because it's already 15 feet, we'll say, to one side. Skips, and then it's going to be circle 1 probably.
Almost no matter what. And she gets the great skip, and it goes straight in.
Yeah.
So, awesome competition on the FPO side. It'll be interesting to see. Sai Ananda's not playing the Music City.
Yeah, we don't see her on the roster. I mean, unless I'm missing something, I don't see her on here, and so I guess we'll see.
But it'll be interesting to see how she plays the rest of the year.
Correct. Now, Calvin Heimberg took it down relatively handily, 6-stroke lead, gets the belt buckle, which, real quick, side conversation.
Okay.
All right. The Texas, three tournaments, Waco, the Open at Austin, Texas State's, each with unique trophies.
Yeah.
How would you rank them?
Ooh, that's tough. I think I'm a traditionalist. I love the traditional trophy in these contexts, and so the Waco trophy has got to be the top for me.
Right.
It looks fantastic. It looks like a trophy. Definitely could go on your that trophy case.
Definitely.
And then but the other two are really fun, and so it's close. But I loved the cowboy hat.
Yes.
So I would go Waco, and then I'd go the Open in Austin, and then I'd go Texas State's. But you can't go wrong with any of them.
I would be in almost pure agreement with you. My heartstrings are pulled wanting to give the Cowboy hat the win, but the Waco trophy is really good. No, I'm going to do it. I'm giving the Cowboy hat the number one. The more I'm thinking about it, I think in the sense of what would look awesome in a well-lit trophy cabinet room. And I think that hat with the right spacing, because, you need a whole lot more space with that hat versus a bunch of narrower trophies, would look awesome.
I'll give you that. It was close for me.
Yeah, but that Waco trophy, and we talked about it in the moment while we were watching the finish to it together.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that trophy is awesome.
Just that little, is it a bridge? I believe it is.
Yeah, it's the bridge.
Hard to beat, but the belt buckle is good. That's no downplay to it. That's a fun one. I think Gannon Burr mentioned the idea that he likes a traditional trophy better than something like kind of fun while he was on the Tour Life podcast with Brody and Paul. So it just interesting side conversation as we talk about Calvin Heinberg's utter demolition of the field at Texas State.
It was brutal for the rest of the field.
Not to say they played bad golf. I mean, AB shot a 1086 rated round in round 2, tied with Calvin Heinberg right there. I mean, there was a lot of good golf out there that weekend.
But Calvin went out and shot 1070 round 1, like you said, 1086 round 2, and then finishes it with a smooth 1064.
That's just awesome golf. You can't be disappointed there. And I love saying, I mean, this is a silver series and you're getting $4,000. I mean, you can tell that disc golf is continuing to be on the up and up. To win a silver series and get $4,000 is really good.
Yeah, super solid. I'd like to see those numbers continue to grow, and they will over time. But
we're seeing a lot more money in the game alongside, even when the buyout of Trilogy happened. That's the kind of thing that brings more money into the game, because you'll see a whole lot more advertising spend as that happens.
Oh.
And so I would love, if we could, look a year later and see what's the Silver Series purse payout for Texas State's next year, and see how does that number increase percentage-wise.
We'll check it out.
Remind us if we haven't already done that and you're thinking about it. So next topic, little Music City preview. Trey, you wanna reveal a nice little surprise?
So I don't know if it's necessarily a surprise, because we've definitely talked about it.
Yeah, but just in case you're new to the podcast.
Just new to the podcast, we will be at the Music City Open.
Yeah, for rounds 1 and 2, and because of Easter, we'll be coming back home for round 3, which is, we didn't even realize when we bought our tickets for 3 days.
Yeah, I was like, oh, is it? I either thought Easter was earlier or later, but it just varies.
Right.
We wind up looking it up, and sometimes it's in March, sometimes it's April.
Well, my brain always thought it was March.
Yeah, and I have always pictured it around March because it's been near my dad's birthday.
Right.
But
we're excited for that. It'll be a super fun time. I've got some family out there that I'll get to go see while I'm there. Me, you, and Matt will be out there for those 2 rounds. My chance, if anybody's watching that is playing in the tournament and needs a caddy.
Yes. We'll go ahead and throw that offer out there. We would love to caddy for you guys. And let me plug this in a way that's not like, oh, it's just 2 fanboys trying to caddy. We know the sport of disc golf. I've got 10 years of experience of knowing discs. I've thrown tons of discs, known a lot of companies, and I love the game, and I want to see the sport grow. And I think the way that we're going to see the sport grow is through having caddies. I know that the bag isn't the most heavy thing in the world, but it does just allow you to just play your game.
It is a literal weight off the shoulders in a moment where, even emotionally, you need weight off of your shoulders when things get tense. And on my side, I mean, I come from a ball golf background, And so I think I just share like the, and you share this as well, but just to kind of push the point is etiquette is huge to us.
Yes.
And, I think there's not a lot necessarily that lacking, but I think there's an area in which we can like grow in professionalism as like caddies relate to players, and being both somebody to carry the bag, but also manage somebody's emotions and be able to give input where necessary. Because at the end of the day, you know your bag best, and until there's money to be paying people to come out with you to every single tournament, you're probably not going to get to a point where a caddy knows your bag better than you know your bag.
Right. But that being said, we will definitely learn your bag.
Right.
Yeah, you can send us a list of the discs you're throwing, what you're using them for.
We'd love to be able to practice with you, or not us practice per se, but be with while you practice to kind of get a feel, but also caddy in a way that fits the style that you need. The goal is to be an enhancement to your weekend.
We do not want to detract from your round in any way, shape, or form. So if you just simply need us to hold the bag, we can do that. But we also have rangefinders. We can do a lot of things for you guys. So
right.
Just a little plug there.
Definitely. So Trey, it's 3 rounds, Mill Creek Park. This is the same property as last year.
Correct.
I mentioned. Any particulars that stand out as to like how the course plays? I believe it's a mix.
Yeah, it seems like it's a good mix of wooded and open. I know they're making changes. I don't know what those specifically are. We haven't done as much research on this one just because we're not going to talk too much about the course as a whole, because we want to come back next week and give just kind of a full breakdown of the course as a whole, because we're going to get to walk it. We're going to get to see the course. We're going to get to watch players throw it, see reactions, and hopefully get to have some conversations with some guys.
I think the thing I'm most excited for is, and you've gotten a little bit of this. This will be my first Pro Tour event to watch.
Yes.
And I'm excited to go into a course that I'm from the area. My grandparents lived in Antioch. And I'm familiar with the area, though I've not been to this disc golf course. I've never played any portion of it. So I know nothing about this other than watching some prior coverage. And so getting to go out there and see it for the first time and really see it in the moment, rather than feeling like I've studied something heavily, somebody going on a trip to Europe and they know every step they're going to take and they walk those steps. I want the excitement of learning something new and being surprised at how a course lays out.
Right. And so this will be my second major event, whether that's, I went to USDGC last year.
Right.
Got to experience that in a really unique way. Got to carry the scorecard with my buddy Jackson, which was an incredible hour.
That's fun.
Got to follow the best card, James Conrad, Chris Dickerson, James Proctor, and Kyle Klein. It was the third card on third round. But they were just super great. They were really kind and friendly with us, and got to chat with Chris Dickerson about some Tennessee football.
Right.
But I really got to experience it in a unique way. And so I think the thing I'm most excited about is, hopefully we'll get to caddy for somebody.
That would be super exciting.
Yeah, we would be super excited to do that. But even if not, I'd be super excited to watch it with the fans, get to interact with fans, see what people are excited about, see why people are, what they're doing there and how they're enjoying it. And but just to get to watch and enjoy excellent disc golf played.
Yeah, it's a different environment. I say that with no real experience. I've been to Rock Hill, to Winthrop, and I've played that course, but I haven't gotten to go watch people play it. And so this will be an interesting one, seeing a course that I don't know super well and I can't attest in any way, shape, form, or fashion to how this course plays. Now, we'll have Champions Cup in a few weeks, which that's probably iffy on if we'll be able to make it.
Right.
I think I'll probably go out of my way because I've got a buddy I'd like to go see. It'd be nice to go with Reed.
Yeah, definitely.
Day out there. But that was way more in the air. I'd gotten to play W.R. Jackson alongside Reed, and so I think that watching experience would be unique.
Oh, for sure.
And whether or not we'll get there, that's a separate question and conversation, but probably not one as top of mind as going to the closest event we could possibly.
We are so excited about it, though. And we'll definitely be making other Pro Tour events.
Correct. Let's go ahead and rock into our picks.
Let's do it.
We're going to start with let's start with FPO. Do you have anything from Matt? We'll
No.
We'll give picks currently. If that changes, you may next week. Matt will basically have until the tournament starts
Right.
to send us picks. So we're gonna give him 3 picks that we think are fair,
For sure.
that he would potentially pick anyway. But me and Trey have our FPOs, but he does have MPO picks. We just only got one side of it before getting to where we're at. So, Trey, who do you have on the FPO side for the win?
I'm going to take Haley King to win the Music City Open. I think this course,
I'd say bold pick. I like it.
well, sort of. She has had her ups and downs, but she isn't one of the best. When she's on, she's one of the best disc golfers
Right.
in FPO.
Have you seen her throwing lefty?
No, is she?
Yes. I don't know if it's in a spot where she would do it in a round, but she was showing shots being thrown lefty on some like discs that she was just kind of showcasing on her Instagram.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out because being a lefty, it's always nice to watch other lefties throw.
Well, she is a righty, but yeah, the amphibious, as that one man might have said. Matt is going to go with the classic Kristen Tatar as of now. That would change.
I will say this is the first time that we all three haven't picked Kristen Tatar.
Yeah, I know.
But who are you taking, Thomas?
I'm going Katrina Allen. I've got pretty good confidence in her taking it down this weekend. I think with Katrina running into the event where Kristen has not taken down every single event, I think there's a renewed confidence that she has to potentially take it down.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, when we've seen multiple winners this time around, it'll be interesting to see when and if Kristen picks back up on her dominance.
Let's see. So on the podium finish side, you and I are coming in with the similar pick and the understandable Kristen Tatar.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a little bit of gamemanship here in the sense that like I want to kind of guarantee myself some points here. I've not done super great on points.
That's what I did last week. Not 2 weeks ago when picking for, or no, 3 weeks ago. Was it 3 weeks ago? Yes, when picking for Lord, the Open in Austin. It was, picking Gannon as taking the dub, and then picking Calvin there in the middle.
Yeah.
Matt is going to run with the Owen Scoggins pick. We're giving him Kristen Tatar as the number 1, Owen Scoggins as the number 2.
In terms of rating.
Correct. And then on the Forge side, I'm going to stay straight shooter. Caroline Henderson, she finished, I believe, 12th at Texas States. I'd have to take a look. I've got the FPO here. No, tied for 11th. And she's almost crested that top 10 each time. And so I do that out of I'm confident in her, and I think as she continues to play, the nerves will go down and the placement will go up, and I think we'll see her inside the top 20 in rating in the next 6 months.
Probably so. I wouldn't be surprised by that. Matt is going to go with Kona Montgomery for his Forge pick.
We gave that to him as like a fun, it's her first event back, or first event of the season, given her thyroid problem, so she was talking about this being the first that her and Colton are going to be at.
Together.
Correct.
Yeah. And so that'll be exciting. And then I don't think this person has been outside the top 20 until recently. So I'm excited to pick up Alexis Mondahano.
That's a good pick. Alexis she's a solid golfer.
Super solid golfer. She's got a chip on her shoulder this year, being what you might say demoted to the Ledgestone team. And like nothing against her at all on that. It's just Discraft's team is so stacked that they had to make room.
Discraft got that money, and like they just got some insane golfers. So to be on that team is no shock. That's just this is a company with a ton of money that has a bunch of opportunity to pick up huge players.
For sure. And so, but I do think this course suits Alexis's play, and so I will not be surprised if she even makes her way into the top 5.
I can see that. So MPO side, I'll start us off with a winner. I'm going the Open at Austin champion, Mr. Cowboy Hat wearing Gannon Burr.
Gannon Burr. That's a good pick. I mean, it's like hard to root against the guy who We're picking against the guy who just won the last tournament. This course is going to require a very balanced disc golfer, someone who can throw in the woods, who can do well in the woods, which Gannon has shown time and time again that he can.
Yes.
And then he's got a cannon. Gannon the Cannon.
Cannon. That's a good one. Come on. So Matt has decided to pick Simon Lizotte. That's an understandable one. He's playing good golf.
He's playing good golf. He's learning his MVP bag. He's refining it. He's making it exactly what he needs.
Continuing to play smart golf rather than crazy fun golf. I mean, now his golf is still fun. That's not a shout, but how he plays. But
right,
it is much more traditional, solid, smart, strategic golf.
Absolutely. And for my pick, I'm going to take the guy who took it down last year in the Silver Series. I'm going to go Chris Dickerson. Chris Dickerson doesn't lose in Tennessee.
Tennessee boy is going to take the Music City Open down. I can see it.
Now, place.
Do you want to tell them how we all picked the same person?
Well, I think they probably know who we picked. We're all playing.
Wait, real quick. I'm going to give you 3 seconds to think. Who do you think we picked? 3, 2, 1. Calvin Einberg.
I mean, we all went Calvin to place. I think
Has it not finished? Has he finished off the podium this season?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
3-3-1.
3 points. 3 points. I'm calling it right now. 3 points.
And it almost makes me want to switch when I see all of us because
it means net zero.
Net zero is for me, and I'm already behind. And I need to catch up.
I'm pretty far ahead, aren't I?
You and Matt are actually pretty close because Matt did well at Vegas.
He only beat me by a little bit, and then I just got the trifecta on the MPO side, and then I think I got one. I can't remember what it was, but on the Forge pick, who do you got, Trey?
For my Forge pick, I'm going a safe, common route from our podcast. I am going James Proctor.
I think I've gone with them the past 2, and I got points both times.
So, I mean, it's safe. Why wouldn't you go with him?
It's pretty easy. Matt is going with the Brody Smith, who is
dark horse.
A true dark horse. I mean, he plays really good, well-rounded golf. You would think that at his size, he would only be good at lengthy disc golf. He is sneaky.
He can get sneaky.
So I think that's a very solid pick. And for myself, I'm going with it. To be clear, the Forge pick again is somebody outside in the MPO side, somebody outside of the top 30 rated players in the event that's going to finish in the top 10.
Correct.
I'm going with number 31. Vino Makala.
That's a great pick. I mean, Vino had a great performance at the Open in Austin.
He's a good one.
He's a good, consistent golfer. Real quick point update since we didn't have that before. So you're at 18, Matt is at 12, and I'm at 5.
Got it. I mean, I've got a decent 5 is a decent lead for this point in time, but we'll see as that progresses throughout the season. Real quick, I want to plug Forge Sports Fantasy to you all. We will be drafting, at least in mass, on Thursday evening this week. We do 8 p.m. the day before tee-off. Now, if you decide to join and we have enough groups and you want your own friends to draft, you can draft any time that you and your group would like, but the stock draft time, 8 p.m. Eastern time, day before tee-off. Forge Sports Fantasy has just been a fun way to watch more disc golf and take way more players that you never would have.
Exactly. It allows you to have someone to root for besides your favorite player. It's like, oh, Chris Dickerson's not playing this tournament. Let me root for Vino Makala.
Exactly. So it's when you've got 6, or the last time we did it, we had 8 people. I mean, you're going anywhere between 36 and 48. Am I doing that math right?
We're picking
36 and 48. It's six players per team, 8 people.
6 times 8 is 48.
Yeah. So that's a wide range of people to be rooting for. That's almost half the field if you've got a group of 8, which is the max for Forge Sports Fantasy League. So if you haven't already signed up, I would encourage you just go to our Instagram has a link. I believe our YouTube channel summary has it as well, to our link tree, which will take you to our page that has Forge Sports Fantasy on it, or you can go to forgesportsfantasy.net. It'll reroute you to the Getting Started page. So you can sign up and then go join our Discord, and we'll get drafting. So I'm excited for it. I believe, Trey, it's me and you. Are you just barely ahead of me in points? Barely 2 points.
Yeah, it's extremely close. And you might think, how are the two guys that are running the show in first and second? It's not because we're cheating. It's because we know disc golf.
Yeah.
Point blank, period.
Yeah. Now, me and Trey have played in separate groups up until this most recent event, in which case I think because we were both in the same group, Trey and I were just picking players that the other would have picked. I mean,
yeah, it was back and forth. And with the larger group, I was not able to snag as many points with my solid fourth place finish.
correct.
Which I was a little disappointed with that.
But first place in an Elite Series event gets 60 points. Second gets 45. Third gets 30. And then all participating people get 15 points.
Participation.
And so he got 15, and I came in first and got the 60. So I had a 45-point swing on Trey, which was big because Trey had 45-point swings on me in some other events where we were in different groups and I just performed great. So I think the way that we'll end up doing it is we'll have, for the first major of the year, you'll have a group that gets qualified for the major that will qualify for more points, but the top 2 performers in the major will get an auto qualifier for Worlds.
Oh,
The second one will have the same exact thing, but it's the top 2 people that haven't already qualified.
okay. So similar to the qualification.
Exactly. And then the third set will be overall points thus far into Worlds that have not qualified, and you get 6. I potentially may swing it up to 8 because Worlds is the third major of the year.
Yeah, because
It's just 3, and it's an X major now. It's not the PDGA lists it as not an actual major. Even Gannon Burr was talking about this.
oh, well, Worlds isn't a major.
No, not Worlds, USDGC. It's the third, and USDGC is not technically like a PDGA major anymore. So you only have 3 during the year.
Weird. I'm still gonna call it a major.
It is. I mean, saying X majors. Gannon Burr was talking about this because somebody was like, "Oh, you got a major," when he was like, "Oh no, well, I mean, I guess I've got an X major." It's a complete 2023 schedule released.
Listed on there.
Yeah, but there's somewhere where it listed like the tiers because it's not on here. I'm almost certain. I'll go back and look at it, verify next week.
I
But
have that answer for you.
Gannon definitely talked about it in an interview.
Oh yeah.
So with that in mind, we've got a couple quick topics. You want to hit briefly on this Paul Macbeth stuff?
Yeah. So Paul Macbeth has got some friends in high places.
Had some money in good places.
That is the truth. So I'll kind of set the scene here. So Throw Down the Mountain has been one of the longest running tournaments in disc golf. The property's awesome. You only get to have the property for disc golf specifically for, I think it was like 4 or 5 weeks out of the year, that they would be running these events. And it was a well, represented event. Paul Macbeth himself was very fond of the event. But it came out this year that the owners were planning on selling the property, and the folks that were, I think the current high bidders were folks that wanted to turn the property into homes. So they wanted to develop the property and essentially, negate the disc golf course that would be there. Paul heard about this and said, "Nah, you're not going to do that." Talked to his buddy, the ace of the Chicago White Sox himself, Dylan Cease, which we haven't talked about him on the podcast before, but what a great advocate for disc golf. He's got a great platform, being the best pitcher on an MLB team, and he loves the sport. Has commissioned Paul to design a course in Alabama for him where he's bought property, and Paul and Dylan went in together and bought the Throw Down the Mountain property,
which is pretty sick to be able to push the property on to continue to host a wonderful event. That it's just a wild way that added money in disc golf is continuing to benefit the sport in more ways than just player payouts.
Yeah, we're starting to see more and more of these disc golf specific properties, and this one is awesome because it's in a major area. It's near Jacksonville, and so I think that this is just an excellent step for the sport of having these specific properties that are near major areas that are getting support from guys like Paul Macbeth. Paul's going to design an awesome course out there. He's probably going to use a lot of what was already there, but then now he has the whole property to work with.
He got a lot. And Paul is so good at course design.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you've just watched New London, like watched the guys from Foundation or whoever play New London, it's a fantastic course. It's very well designed. And
Right.
I think it's just exciting. I think you're going to probably see some Elite Series and eventually maybe a World Championship in Florida
That'd be wild.
in the near future.
So
Well, that's exciting. We just want to bring that up to say we're just the sport is growing. The sport is growing exponentially. We're getting these opportunities to have specific properties, and it just shows that, like, the sport is in a spot where we might even, we had the COVID jump. We might be making that jump into, like that next jump in sports. So maybe even sooner than we've imagined.
very well could be. So you got some new discs.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm very interested at this first set. You've got them listed on the outline here. Let's hit the first one and then talk on very interesting second.
Yeah. So Clash discs. I mean, we talked about them last episode. I love the names that they use. I love the food idea.
Right. It is probably the most unique in the recent. Like, you could always say that the original discs coming out were all unique. They were at one point unique, but now this is a unique concept.
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, just using food. It's like they found their niche there and they're doing it very well. And I'm actually going to go in reverse order on what I have here because the first one's actually my favorite. I want to save it for the end. So starting with the vanilla. The vanilla.
You love this.
Yeah, it's just so fun to have discs with names like that. That it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to throw my, I have a salt in my bag now. It's like, oh, that shot was a little salty. But now you could throw vanilla if you want.
Definitely.
And it's going to be an understable to straight 9 to 10 speed. It was pretty comparable to some of the other, I believe, kind of similar to like a
Like a sideboard.
I wonder, that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
And then they've got the Lotus,
Right.
which is a little off the kilter for them, but in the same field. But I use trydiscs.com, I think is the name of it, to do my disc comparisons. Yeah, trydiscs.com. So if you're looking to try some new discs and you want something similar to something you've already been throwing, you can use that website and it gives you a lot of good options. But you can plug in specific dimensions.
Right.
And I was plugging in those specific dimensions, and like I always give like, a spectrum of like options. Like I don't just go to the exact number because typically you're not going to have the same exact mold.
Right.
So I always give a range. But then I put in my usual range and no discs popped up.
Really?
And then I widened a couple and nothing popped up.
That's kind of funny.
And so I finally got somewhere with it. It's not really like much we've seen, but it appears to most, it's going to be somewhere between a 7 and a 10 speed, I would say.
Okay.
And the discs, when I finally got there was stuff that was really overstable and there was stuff that was really understable. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see what the Lotus flies like, because it's the first one that I've done. And I'm like a little stoked. So
yeah.
Then you've got
That's the when I saw that, I was like, that is the most fun out of these three names.
Yeah, the fudge might have made my list last week, my draft.
Yeah.
But it's looking like it's going to be a straight to maybe a little understable putter. It had similar characteristics to the P Model US, which we have found out is actually a fairly straight disc in watching pros throw it, or my former putter, the Daredevil Polar Bear.
The Polar Bear.
Which good putter. So I'll be excited to see how the fudge turns out.
So Trey, tell me about Remix.
So I was blown away when I was looking at the PDG website and I see this company come out with 16 discs approved.
Just
I was like, who is this? And so Thomas and I did a little more research because I was like, I wanted to shout them out because I was like, good on y'all. And then I remembered, I was like, one of my practice baskets that I bought at one point, that sounds familiar. It was from Remix Sports.
Uh-huh.
And then we did a little more digging. Looked at Reddit.
Yeah.
Found a Reddit post, and it come to find out, MVP is manufacturing both those baskets and the discs.
It's MVP had registered the trademark for Remix, which is interesting. And you mentioned that this is more or less their Amazon brand.
Yeah, it is. It's exactly what
I'm not sure if they sell any other places than Amazon alone, but that is what this is meant to be, is a marketing push towards people that don't necessarily go to particular disc-related websites, but just go to Amazon like they would for anything else and type in the name of something and just say disc golf discs, and then boom, Remix Sports.
Oh man,
and you could buy like a 12-pack. I think you were showing me for like $100, which is
like really cheap. And then
for somebody who knows nothing about disc golf.
But MVP also has great plastics, so it's not right. You're gonna be getting these trash discs. You're gonna get some solid stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I did want to shout out a couple of these names because the names are sick. The Skirmisher makes me think of Halo.
So funny. I never played Halo,
but that was just like one of the bad guys. But the Mastodon,
that's a good one.
And then the Haymaker.
I was a big fan of the Goliath.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, no, but think about throwing haymakers.
That is why.
I just thought that was really fun. That's some awesome marketing.
I like to think that like my heart is constantly pulled towards the marketing side of disc golf, and that's like the business major in me. Whereas like for sure you love to like how things fly, like what does the disc do, and that's like the science engineering major in you. And so like it is a fun little mix between me and you to have those like slightly varied interests. Like we both care about the other thing.
Right. But it's like it's like we balance each other out well.
So. Yes, but I love like that, just it's so genius.
Yeah, it's super smart.
Like, oh my gosh, like why have and maybe other manufacturers do this and we just aren't seeing it, but it to keep it kind of under the radar so it doesn't look like here's MVP just selling this, or not to have just this massive Amazon push, but to have relatively generic disc golf discs from like a small brand and push it like no other. I don't know,
it's good stuff. It's good business.
All right, Foshee, let's get into Foshee's fun and games. This is a good segment as usual.
Yeah, let's do it.
What's the topic for the week? Are we doing fun? Are we doing games? A little mix of both?
Oh, I mean, it's always fun and games, Thomas.
It is.
And in light and in honor of the Music City Open coming around, a lot of music, a lot of singing goes on in Nashville. So we're going to do another draft.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to draft the disc golfer, excuse me, that you would most like to go do karaoke with.
You gave me a small brief. I hadn't really thought much through it, so this ought to be an interesting one. Gosh, I've got some generic ideas.
Give you some time to think.
No, I'm ready to go.
Okay, let's do it then.
Do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
No, you're gonna go first on this one, and we're gonna change it up. No snake draft. I'm gonna just let you have the first pick over and over, and we're gonna pick 4 golfers.
Wait, so we're gonna go boom, 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 back and forth.
Yep.
Okay. To start off at number 1, I'm gonna go with. I feel like I have to go with Chris Dickerson. I feel like you have to take the Tennessee boy.
Yeah, that was my pick.
Is that your number 1 pick?
That was my number 1 pick. And then I guess I'll just go straight to 2. And I got to take the Tennessee boy myself, the lefty, Zach Melton. Think about how much fun you'd have with Zach Melton.
Zach Melton, especially if our picks are dueling it out in karaoke.
Okay, yeah, dueling karaoke teams.
That would be wild.
I'm all in.
All right, my number 2. I'm gonna go with Eagle McMahon.
Okay.
I think Eagle's the type of guy that would have fun, that would go all out and absolutely destroy whoever your next pick is,
He
it's karaoke.
wasn't on my short list. Well, I had one and then I lost it. But I mean, Eagle seems like a pretty like straight-laced guy when it comes to stuff like this. I'm gonna base this one completely on talent alone. I think he's maybe the most talented disc golfer. So I'm just gonna assume he's the most talented singer. I'm gonna take Anthony Barella.
Anthony Barella. Why do I can't say I love the pick because Anthony, being the frat boy that he is, I feel like he would see karaoke and maybe not be as attuned to it. All right, the camera died from reheating again. It happens.
We're working on it.
We said it was going to be a short episode, and then we hit the, again, that like 40-ish minute mark. We had a little bit of downtime before we like really got started, but you took Anthony Barella.
I did.
I don't love the pick, but I think he could be a fun pick if in the right mood.
Yeah, for sure.
So, coming in at my next pick, I think I'm going to go with James Conrad.
James Conrad. He's definitely bringing some good vibes.
Yeah, I feel like, obviously Nashville karaoke, we're assuming country music. I don't know what James listens to, but he seems like a psychedelic kind of guy. Not like he would actually be listening to that, but he seems like he could like himself some like good old 80th rock or something like that. That's a complete assumption. I know nothing about James's music preference.
Nor do I. But if, that makes a good point, and I'm going to go with a little bit of chemistry here as well as like who I would consider a good old country boy himself, Adam Hammis.
That's a good pick. Adam Hammis would absolutely crush you in karaoke.
I think so. Man,
yeah.
But then you've got Barella, who does come across as a little more serious, but then you've got him with his buddy, and they're just going to have a great time. They're going to go up there and sing a duet.
I think him and Adam could absolutely tear it up.
See, I was playing the long game.
Playing the long game. So you say we're picking 4 people?
Yeah, okay. Get your last pick.
One more pick. And I'm going to go with Simon Lazat.
Oh, man, you took my pick.
Was that who you were going to pick?
Yeah.
He looks like he's a fun-natured guy.
Oh, yeah.
He would crush it in some karaoke. Like, absolutely. I don't think it would matter what genre it was. Simon Lazat would go all out.
And then you got the chemistry. Like, you took from the chemistry card with Simon and Eagle, good buddies.
Yes.
They're going to go up there. They're going to do a duet. It's not going to be as good as AB's and Adams.
Crush Boy karaoke spelled with K's.
Hey, I mean, it works. So
there's not 4.
My last pick. There's so many good guys here. I'm trying to think who's going to mesh with these boys. You know what? This is a tough one, but I've got 2 from Discraft. I've got to grab another guy from Dynamic. This dude's going to have a great time. Ricky Wysocki. Bro, he's going to sing his own song.
He could totally. I think Ricky would tear it up. He'd be a fun dude to do some karaoke with. He's just, smile is huge, has a good time all around.
Oh, he's a fun guy, good-natured, like, just high energy. And that's what you need in someone who's going to be on your karaoke team. You're going out, bro. I think I won that draft.
I think you've got a good mix with Barella and Hammis. But I think Chris Dickerson and James Conrad are going to go in on something foreign but Eagle McMahon and Simon on the Crush Boy side. And this is an all-around chemistry battle right here. So.
Oh, it absolutely is.
All right, let's get into Thomas's top 5.
Oh, give it to me.
All right. Sticking with this upcoming event is in Nashville. We're a couple Southern boys, and you know what Southern boys like? Southern food.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going with what I'll call my top 5.
Okay.
It won't be the most most of this actually will be very traditional, but to like what I like. At number 5, I'm going to go with, and this isn't specifically Nashville or like Tennessee food. This is just Southern food in general. Okay. But I'm going with some good old-fashioned pulled pork at number 5.
Okay.
Barbecue, amazing. I'm more of a ketchup-based barbecue sauce kind of guy. Little Memphis blood in me.
Okay, I understand. That's some good barbecue stuff.
There's a little sweetness to it. So that's my favorite sauce. I'm not much of a sauce guy. You know that.
Yeah, but the pork is what makes it.
Exactly. So pulled pork, number 5. All right. What you can't really eat with pulled pork, like you can't not eat this. You have to eat this if you're having pulled pork. Mac and cheese.
Oh yeah, that's a classic.
That like, I don't know, that I feel like if you're from anywhere else in the country, your mac and cheese is not as good as like our grandmothers make mac and cheese.
Of course, my mac and cheese is better than your mac and cheese.
Exactly. Number 3, sweet tea.
Yeah, that is a staple in Southern cuisine.
Oh yeah. So sweet tea. Now some people drink it a little less sweet. Us here in the South drink it with literal pounds of sugar dropped in it.
My dad makes a sweet tea, and that thing has got to have like 4 cups of sugar.
It is just diabetes.
But it tastes
so. But again, we're sweet tea. This is iced. Like this is cold.
yes.
Sweet tea. We're not. I mean, you might drink it lukewarm sometimes, depending on who you are, what time of day it is. I know some people were like, Reed drinks it because of his parents. His parents did this thing where they lowered the amount of sugar over time until it was quite literally unsweet tea. And so he gets half and half whenever he goes somewhere because regular sweet tea is too sweet for him. But, you know, that's not true.
He's not truly Southern then.
Maybe. So, number 2, a good old-fashioned buttermilk biscuit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta get that biscuit.
And we'll note, biscuits are great because you can eat them plenty of different ways. You can cut them open, have sausage, eggs, cheese. Like you can have it easy. Well, that's what I was going to say. Gravy is the way to go with the sausage gravy for breakfast. Then you could also go with like some brown gravy over the top of biscuits, depending on what you're doing. A lot of this is like Thanksgiving-esque type stuff, but biscuits are a versatile food. Like, you can do a ton with them. You already know what's number 1. He's typing it. That is number 1 is fried chicken. Now, to stick with the Nashville theme, not that I particularly love it because I'm building the spice tolerance, but Nashville hot chicken.
So good.
That's a staple.
For someone who's got the taste buds for spicy food, it's hard to beat Nashville hot chicken.
But
So
fried chicken across the board, that's the way to go. Chicken sandwiches is full on, like, you know, it's separated chicken, fried chicken pieces, legs, thighs.
all of this. You just have to get fried chicken when you're in the South. So all you folks from Europe, you got to grab some of that fried chicken.
I watched a video of these European, like, maybe like high school or whatever,
Oh,
that was eating biscuits for the first time.
yeah, biscuits and gravy.
And they were like, they were very timid and then just lost their marbles.
Oh, I mean, why wouldn't you? They're delicious.
So that's Thomas's top 5. I thought that would be a fun little homage to the Southern, to us.
Yeah.
Nashville. We love, don't get me wrong, we love Texas. But when it comes to particularly the real UT, when it comes to colleges, the University of Tennessee is the real UT.
That's dang right.
Yeah.
That's what,
Who went and took care of the Alamo? I think it was the Tennessee Volunteers.
right.
Tennessee helped out and made sure that Texas wasn't North Mexico.
Well, that is true.
So,
Well, that's the podcast, guys. Thanks for listening and staying with us. If you're in Nashville, the Music City Open, come and find us. We'll be where the 4 chats.
shoot us a DM on Instagram. We'll be on our phones all day. And so if you want to come see us, hang out, just watch disc golf with us, we'd be more than happy.
Absolutely. But thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys next week.
See ya.